We've had 17 evolutions released in 2024, starting with the Valkyrie in January. Everyone was freaking out because it could hard counter a golem. This made it extra scary because people were like, oh no, it can counter 3 golems. But it's like, yeah, okay, but the golems are gonna have stuff behind it. So you're overreacting. It was never that meta. In theory, it can permanently pull 2 golems. But look how long that is. It's not even that much DPS. Next up, they released the Bomber Evolution. It bounced 3 times. It's still busted. It's still one of the best evolutions out there. If this evolution is replacing Dart Goblins and Musketeers, it only attacks ground. But the fact, a lot of my decks have the Bomber as a win condition. Boom, boom, boom. It hit the Prince and then the Expo twice. That's so illegal. This is when it bounced 3 times and it was 1 cycle. Oh my god. It's still busted with 2 cycle and 2 bounces. When Wall Breakers first came out, they dealt 1 billion damage. 700 damage left in the tower. You still got that one thing dealing 500. Oh, that's gonna be spicy. 1,000 damage even though they had a Valkyrie. You could only counter them with buildings before they got nerfed to the ground. Every time the Tesla popped up, it just creates a new stun. This was one of the most oppressive metas in 2024. Almost every deck had Tesla and it became super defendy. Tesla goes up, kills the skeletons, Evolution Knight tanks. Oh my god.
Earlier,
no matter what Shane does, that
offense to,
Tesla
support the
is
push.
gonna
That was
defend against
insane.
those
I mean, I
archers
guess it was
so
defense
good.
at the Expo,
It's gonna
but-
pop up. It's gonna pop up. Yes, yes, yes.
What?
Oh,
Oh,
that's
it's
stunned. This was when the Evolution Tesla could counter the entire graveyard. Oh, that's so satisfying. It even stunned the Wall Breakers. I missed this Evolution Tesla. Next up, this is where Zap got bigger and bigger and it did 3 pulses. It was more than Fireball damage for 2 elixir. This was meta up until freaking October when they nerfed it. Evolution Zap killing the Evolution Archers. Oh my god. Evolution Zap with 3 pulses, just completely disrupting the Inferno Dragon with a balloon connecting. What a time to be alive. This is when Battlereal destroyed all the troops in front of it and it could just push infinitely. This was stronger before. I think it had an even bigger knockback and more health. And everyone in the dev build was like, y'all need to nerf this before it gets released. So we didn't even get to see the craziness of it. Oh, it was going to be 1 cycle. That's what was so busted about this. Holy crap. Something about the infinite bounces. Wait, how much did that do? So much damage. This was when the shield didn't die to log and it had this absurd amount of knockback. Look at this Golden Knight. It's gonna get knocked back so far. Barely kills the wizard with the ability. I think this is before they decided, whoa, evolutions, they're not gonna get like a 20% stat buff. I want to see this interaction. Battle healer, you're not healing. Why did they think it was okay to knock things back 10 tiles? Okay, it was like a 3 tile radius, but still. Goblin Barrel evolution. This one, I feel like was pretty balanced because the puppets, they're just kind of there. It's good to juke people off and do the puppet in the other lane where they're not expecting it, and then you tank the puppet lane and it deals a lot of damage because they countered the big goblins. I feel like they didn't really need to do much with the Goblin Barrel because it was good on day 1. Goblin Drill is only in the summertime. It popped up 3 times. It was uncounterable. It spawned 3 goblins every time. I think it spawned like 4 even before the dev build. Goblin Drill, you couldn't counter the evolution. There was no unit that could counter it for a neutral trade. Oh, this is where I'm getting attacked by it. I can't even stop it because it's popping up everywhere.
Guaranteed.
Wait, where'd my
down.
tower go? Where'd the tower go? The Evolution Drill took it. That's where it went. Bowler was the only unit that could counter the Evolution Drill completely. That almost fully counters it. Almost fully countered it. It still did like 60 damage from the spawn. People were really scared of the Goblin Giant because they're like, oh, if you completely ignore it, it's gonna 3 crown your stuff. But it's like, okay, let's be real. No one's gonna ignore like a Goblin Giant. They didn't really need to nerf this too much. I think they just took away the stat buffs. It doesn't stop. Is there no limit? I love how there's no limit. That's what makes evolutions fun. Oh, what a time to be alive. Oh my god. This brought back Sparky decks. I'm really happy about Goblin Giant evolution. Did they slow down the spawn rate? I don't remember it being this strong. It's either really weak or really strong. That's so dumb. Yeah, it is dumb. Goblin cage. Me and Shane were like, oh, it's a goblin cage. It's basically like an inferno tower. And everyone was losing their minds about it. Like, yeah, it fully counters a Pekka if you let it, but you're not going to let it. This was the scariest part when evolutions were stronger and the goblin bruiser thing was a little bit beefier. That was the value. Look at that. Pretty much 2 shots the musketeer. Why does a Valkyrie evolution hit air, but then an evolution goblin cage can't suck in air? Make it make sense, Supercell. Whoa, what's Shane doing in my room? Before this video even released in the dev build, Pekka was healing like 600 health and could overheal like 50% of the health. It was the tankiest unit in the game. It's December as of this recording. It's been out for 3 months now, and it's still one of the strongest evolutions out there. It's so oppressive. This is when it healed a little bit more. Look at that. Just massive, tanky beast of a unit. This is why I took Tombstone out of my graveyard free-to-play deck. That's obnoxious. I think I'm genuinely trying to counter Shane's evolution Pekka, and I'm struggling right now because of the stupid Tombstone feeding it. Holy crap. Oh my god, I still had to use Tornado and everything else there. Evolution Mega Knight sounds like it was designed by a 10-year-old. What if every hit it knocked back units really far? It's still really strong. I don't think they've really had a need to nerf it yet because the Pekka kind of overshadows that. But I hate facing Evolution Mega Knight. I hate facing regular Mega Knight. The one thing that's really wrong about the Evolution Mega Knight I really disagree with is it can completely stop a golem or a giant push. It just permanently knocks things back. You literally need like 2 mini tanks to distract it so that it can't really focus on it. Oh my god, it just completely stopped a bowler and a giant. I mean, yeah, you could like put some stuff behind it, but the fact that it jumps makes it so hard to counter. Electro Dragon had infinite stuns when it first released, and it had 0 delay. It could counter everything. It's still pretty busted in 2v2. Look at that chain of infinity damage. At least they're smart enough to make it not infinitely chain on a Princess Tower. The infinite stun is so satisfying. They need to stop making things infinite. This was really busted too. It just bounced infinitely. I think they fixed it so it stopped bouncing. It's still really hard to deal with Electro Dragon. People carry lightning just so that you can deal with it. Look at that infinity. What happened to his push? He lost everything. I don't think Shane was expecting that.
That infinite damage stacks up way too quickly.
Holy crap. It's still a menace to society. It bounces a little bit slower now, so they kind of patched it a bit. That was before they nerfed it. That was with a monk. Oh, so satisfying. And then, for some reason, they decided, let's release Evolution Musketeer and make it not that strong. There's only 3 bullets, and it's easy to counter, and it can only hit a straight line, and it can snipe buildings in the back, but that's very situational. Those snipes are really good. I really like the musketeer design. It takes a lot of skill to play, but I think they need to make it a little bit stronger. And then after Evolution Musketeer, they're like, nah, Eagle Artillery. The one thing I hate about this is the tiles are inconsistent. Sometimes it hits everything, sometimes it hits nothing. The radius is deceivingly big, but there's still a lot of holes if you're outside of the radius. And it hits air, but Goblin Cage Evolution doesn't pull air. Come on, can't the Goblin arm reach upwards? Surprisingly, I don't think we've seen a cannon evolution nerf yet. And I genuinely think that's how evolution should be. It's like a one-time use. You put down the musketeer, it's got 3 bullets. You put down the cannon, it has a full blast. It shouldn't have like these infinitely busted mechanics. And then we got December's evolution with Snowball. It just wrecks everyone and everything. The Snowball is nice for retargeting. It's not even that crazy, but it shouldn't pick up like 10 million units. It should pick up like 4 or 5 things max. That's all 17 evolutions that came out in 2024 and broke Clash Royale.